Hey, you're here. All right, so it's now time for POV, another interesting edition of the POV where I get to tell you my point of view, after games were played, especially with regards to player performances. I'm not just here to critique, but then I would also, provide some plaudits if the player deserves it. So, um, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as the Our Media Sports channel on YouTube and then also across social media or the various social media platforms. It's Our Media Hub. Don't forget to subscribe and then also like the content, share, and then also you can join the conversation, in the comment section. So now let's zoom to the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, Comment Ball. There's a game I'm interested in talking about. It was that game between Brazil and then Colombia. And there's one player I always love to talk about, and that's Vinícius Júnior. One of the players that, yeah, you'd say he's one of the stars or superstars in the Madrid team. He's a world-class player. But for me, I've always had my reservations with Vini Júnior. So in that game against Colombia, Brazil ended up winning by 2-1. Vinícius Júnior actually, won a penalty in the first half, which his teammate and Barcelona player Rafinha converted, giving Brazil a 1-0 lead at some point in the game. And then also Colombia managed to come back into the game through James Rodriguez and then also a Liverpool player, that's Luis Diaz, combining for the equalizer. But then after 90 minutes, 10 minutes was signaled to be done. And then Vinícius Júnior actually got Brazil the winning goal. And it was quite a spectacular drive. I wouldn't take anything away from that goal. It was a beautiful strike from outside the box, close to 30 yards. Yeah, I think. But that wasn't enough, because after scoring that goal, that was actually Vinícius Júnior's sixth goal in 38 appearances for the Brazilian national team. You heard me right. So after scoring that belter, to give Brazil all 3 points against Colombia, increasing their chances of qualifying to the 2026 World Cup, the goal Vinícius Júnior scored was actually his sixth. That's 6 goals in 38 appearances. And you don't tell me there's nothing world class about such a record. It looks awful for me. It looks dreadful. It looks like, I don't know, but there's nothing pleasant about such, a very, very poor record like Vini Junior's, for Brazil. We've seen the greats, and in football now, if you want to be termed as a great or one of the greats, then I think you'd not just have to be good for your club side, but then for your national team. So let's mention some of the greats we've known. Ronaldinho, he was great for Brazil and then also for his teams, Barcelona. Fine. Kaká was great for AC Milan. He was also good for Brazil. You can mention the names. Cristiano Ronaldo was great for his side, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Juventus, and then he was good for Portugal. Let me mention Lionel Messi. He's won a couple with Argentina, so much more with Barcelona, and then also PSG. So, see, it's just so simple. Even Ronaldo Nazario, R9 himself, was so great for his sides, AC, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona. He played all the top clubs, across Europe, and he was still great for Brazil. In the 2002 World Cup, he was top scorer with 8 goals. So, if you're talking about the greats in football, the greats, talk about Thierry Henry. He was great for Arsenal, Barcelona, and then also he was great for France. So, all the greats, it's just, so simple. That's the yardstick. If you want to be termed as a great, then you don't have to be great for your club side, and then you don't turn up when your national team comes calling. And that has been the best word to describe Vinícius Júnior. He's been so inconsistent. How do you score 6 goals in 38 games and you think you're world class? Come on. Yeah, we would spare him all that, but come on, be honest with yourself if you're watching. Just take a look at Vinícius Júnior's numbers for Brazil. 6 in 38. And you want to convince me that if I'm mentioning the top stars in world football, I should mention Vini Júnior. He is not my GOAT. And that's why sometimes I feel, it was fair for him not to have won the Ballon d'Or ahead of Jude Bellingham and then also Rodrigo Cascante, because these two players have proven to be pivotal to their national team success than Vini Júnior has done with Brazil. And it's understandable. After he scored a goal after full time, he was like, yeah, he understands, that goal, he's worked so hard for it. But come on, I don't think I'll place Vini Júnior at any pedestal where I'll place certain players. Even Jordan Ayew. I don't think Jordan Ayew hasn't won anything significantly in football, but he has a better national team record than Vini Júnior. It's quite hilarious, but that's the fact. So for me, Vini Júnior in my books is not a goat, can be a goat, and I don't see him as a goat until he wins something with the Brazilian national team. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about two aged players that featured in the UEFA Nations League. So Luka Modric was in action at age 39 for Croatia, and he captained them and led them to a 2-0 win the first leg of the first quarterfinal game against France. What a performance that was. So it could have even been worse for France, but it could have even been more or even better for Croatia after they missed the penalty, but they still, stormed to a 2-0 win over France. And it's Luka Modric for me on the day, the kind of command that he had in midfield tells you that, the likes of Adrien Rabiot, Tchouameni, Matteo Guendouzi, all in France, just couldn't stop the 39-year-old. This is an old man, literally. This is a man who deserves to be walking with a stick and all that. But he was bossing the midfield in that game between Croatia and France. And I still doff my hat off to Luka Modric. Once, at some point, he was voted the worst player or the worst signing in La Liga. Now, he's ended up winning multiple UEFA Champions League titles. He's gone on to win the Ballon d'Or himself. He's done so much in football that you can't even neglect his contributions to football now. And at age 39, Carlo Ancelotti recently said that he feels like, they're only going to continue with Luka Modric if Luka Modric himself is willing to continue, because they feel he's got so much in him. And he also, makes us understand that football, yes, is not like we think it is, where you need a lot of physique, and to play. He makes us understand that, the legs are just the tools, and then football is only played with the mind. And that's how good and great Luka Modric is. He led Croatia to a 2-0 win over France, and he actually bossed everyone in the French midfield. Every single person. I don't know what you have to say about Luka Modric, but for me, in the last 30 years, he's been top 5, best midfielders in the last 30 years. I'll put him there. Yes, I'll put the likes of Xavi, Iniesta also in there. But then Luka Modric, has been, heads and shoulders above most of even the new crop of midfielders we think could boss the game. Now, but there was another 40-year-old in action for Portugal. And obviously, if I mention a 40-year-old, how many 40-year-olds get to play football at this point? So that's Cristiano Ronaldo, still playing, and he's chasing some, an unprecedented record as far as football is concerned, a record that might stand for the ages. So perhaps the end of time, he's chasing 1,000 goals, which some people think, is quite achievable, looking at where he's playing and the fact that he has so much energy and he's able to stay injury-free. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo was in action for Portugal when they played against Denmark in the first leg of the UEFA Nations League. But something interesting happened. So it was still barren. Denmark were chasing, the win, because they felt they were playing at home and they'll be traveling to, Portugal for the second leg, so they had to win. So in that game, at some point, the coach introduced Manchester United striker, that's Rasmus Højlund, who came on, and in a space of less than 2-3 minutes, he had scored for Denmark. And guess what? It was so ironic, no one expected it. After Højlund scored, guess what the celebration was? It was the Sue celebration. So he scored, and then, he did the Cristiano Ronaldo trademark celebration. So, and then after the game, Portugal lost by a lone goal. Cristiano Ronaldo was in that game. His contribution to a Portugal win was quite minimal. Nothing to show for the day. But then the backlash was that Højlund, who himself has struggled so much this season, broke a scoreless run in their last game they played against Leicester City, and then went on to replicate that same form for Denmark. But then people are saying that it was to troll Cristiano Ronaldo. The Siu celebration was just to troll Cristiano Ronaldo. That's quite funny. I don't know why someone actually want to troll a legend like Cristiano Ronaldo. But then, Højlund himself came out to say that no, he's never going to troll Cristiano Ronaldo, because when growing up, one of his idols has been Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's always idolized him. So, that Siu celebration was actually not premeditated. It was just spontaneous, ad lib. It just came and he had to do it. But it was actually in honor of Cristiano Ronaldo, that he loves what Cristiano Ronaldo has done in football, and there was no better celebration he could have hit than the shoe celebration. But still, some people think, the guy was just trying to be subtle, trying to be smart, play with words and all that. But then it was actually a jibe at Cristiano Ronaldo after the Denmark beat Portugal by a lone goal. Mind you, the second leg would also be coming up, and Portugal will be hoping that perhaps Cristiano Ronaldo could step up his game a bit and then help them to overturn the scoreline. But for now, the man of the moment happens to be Rasmus Højlund, who might not even care what people think or even what people deduce from that celebration. He says that the shoe celebration was just because he likes Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know what you think about this, but these are just my opinions. So perhaps you could also share your opinion in the comment section.